we all know that Gold Coast coming in the competition in
2011.
a year and a half. They're going to be in. We probably, most of us know that they have unlimited budget in the way that they can spend, especially at the absolute top end. They can go and buy one, and my belief is they're going to go and target one absolute superstar of the competition rather than target 3, 4, 5 and spread the money evenly. They're going to go and target one particular person at the top end and then perhaps have 8 underlings underneath that. Guys like yourself, JB, I know you've signed Hale, but I'm a little suspicious about that signing, and Urquhart and these sort of players that have some sort of Gold Coast connection. So there are going to be 8 under this one top liner. Now, the top liner that they're chasing...
Well, they've been talking about Revolt, but he's just re-signed.
Well, Revolt's
I know, Rough.
Rough head.
Rough.
No, this is not Rough. We're talking about top of the top. Rough's sort of an up-and-comer. He might even almost fit into the 8 underlings.
Is he an underling these days?
Almost might fit into that. Might be a touch too expensive going forward on that. But I reckon this deal, while it's not done at the moment, and it's not going to be done in the next week or the next month, we're probably not going to know about it for 6 months. It's one that you should tuck away. And just remember this day, Fremantle, North Melbourne, Etihad Stadium.
Not much else to get excited about.
Not much else happening on the day.
Lots
Pleasant
to get
day
excited
outside,
about.
stopped in your cars, listening to this particular one, because it won't happen straight away. So don't come back to me next week and say, it hasn't happened, Brian. It hasn't happened, Brian. It hasn't happened, Brian. Because I tell you that the club that this guy is coming from, they are absolutely desperate. In fact, they are frustrated in their attempts to sign this man.
It's a good build-up.
They are absolutely frustrated in their attempts to sign. He will not put pen to paper at all, and the proof will be in the pudding over the next, probably the rest of this year. If he doesn't sign, this is 100% right. I am speaking of the one top liner that they're going to go for with $1.5 million that Gold Coast can pay him per year. That's right. Jeez. Twice the amount that any other club can possibly afford to pay him. He has connections up on the Gold Coast already in family. I am talking about Gary Ablett Jr. Is just about across the line. Just about. In fact, so much that Gold Coast they believe they nearly have him. They believe they nearly have him signed. I am telling you, Gary, it is that close. He's renowned for just liking the odd $1 or $2, this man, and for 1.5, even you, Gary, at the height of your career...
Oh, Gary would have been there in a heartbeat.
...would have thought seriously about that.
Hey, I don't doubt for a second that if that's on the table, that there wouldn't be a player in the comp that wouldn't give it some consideration.
People will say what happens if Geelong win the premiership this year. We're not talking about next year. We're talking about the end of 2010, the beginning of 2011. So
how can they say that? Are you saying
Geelong will probably be almost out of that premiership window by then if they win this year?
Are you saying they've
almost
floated this spot past him then? You must have.
You
reckon that negotiations are well underway?
Negotiations, and I know his manager Liam Pickering would strenuously deny it, and so will the club, and so will Gary. Of course they will, because what are they going to come out and say? Yes, yes, yes. I'm telling you now, the Gold Coast are so far into this guy, and they are so far down the track in terms of sniffing out his interest. He's very interested in the offer that they got to make, and the proof's in the pudding, in the fact that he has not re-signed with Geelong yet. After
he's got a year and a half to go.
After attempt,
Damo, that
year
is
and a half
irrelevant.
to go with the superstar in the comp, Damo. Don't worry, you'll be
They're
signing
wanting
for
to
life
tuck
if
him
you
away.
could.
Scott Clayton, the chief recruiter, the man entrusted with formulating that entire list, has he personally spoken to Gary Ablett himself, BT?
I wouldn't have thought to Gary Ablett himself, but certainly his management via
So he's spoken to Liam Pickering about this deal?
Absolutely, 100%.
And Liam Pickering is...
And Liam Pickering would obviously
deal,
be communicating with his talent, and in that communication would be somewhere the desire to continue with negotiations.
Let me just do some forensic work on this. Right, this is not coming... I would try to work out.
I'm telling you, Gold Coast is almost across the line.
So this is not coming out of the Ablett camp. It wouldn't be coming out of the what's Pickering's IMG? Is it?
Yes.
It wouldn't be coming out of the Pickering, and it wouldn't be coming out of Geelong. So I'm saying that you've got some source somewhere up there at the Gold Coast.
Not a source, Gary, a top liner.
A top liner at the Gold Coast who's telling you...
Yes.
Is it the coach?
This is not just an expression of interest, that this is down the track and that it is being reciprocated.
And it's not just a wish list thing.
And you're saying, though, that coming back from the Ablett, is that this is more than, thanks for your...
I have a very healthy interest in this continuing, this negotiation, and that's the feedback I'm getting. This is coming from, let me say, a top liner within the Gold Coast camp, and they are targeting just one top line player. Rewalt just signed, you're quite right. They haven't got 4 or 5 feelers out for 4 or 5 top liners. They've got one feeler out for one top liner who they think is very, very much advanced down the track.
I tell you right now, Gary, as you cruise along these boxes, there will be some people discussing whether Jono should have gone the bunana or the drop punt, or there are some people saying there was a couple of swift changes of momentum. Our man's talking about the number 1 footballer in the competition leaving Geelong and going to the Gold Coast when they start in 2011, Gary.
And his strike rate is on this particular, when he comes loaded like this, Damo, is unbelievably good.
Just going to go with a couple of other little things.
There's others down the boxes that'll be just saying that's just not right.
Well, hold off on them, Brian,
no,
because
I've
we've
got
got...
to go now.
You want to go now?